These ceilings really do go on forever. How high do you think this is? It's crazy.
Wait, do you hear that?
One loft, one designer, a million new ideas. Perspective Atlanta.
I know we have a million things to deal with, basically a million things to try and eliminate to make this space feel cohesive. We've got the drapery coming in, which I think is gonna kind of marry everything together and definitely serve to marry the height together and make that more of an accent. The space is really open and the living room and bedroom are open to each other. So it was important to me that the drape continued all the way around the space. Right now it feels really broken up, so if we can take some of those elements and make them feel more like one, we're gonna be in a better spot. This apartment is inherently industrial and masculine and cold, but in a good way. We need to contrast that a little bit with some warmth. And I'm gonna do that using this kind of warm white color. If we can paint out as many things to one kind of tone as possible, it's gonna really help it feel like it has more of kind of a softness to it. Then the stair railing can be the element that sticks out. That can be the black architectural element that feels cool.
Okay, so what's the deal with the chairs? Have you made up your mind yet, or no?
Sometimes I think it's really funny to tell her that I still haven't made up my mind, even if I have.
No, but really.
No, really.
I have to make sure they fit and stuff and plan.
Yeah, no. Which is actually really cruel because she probably gets really stressed out about it. But it's funny for me. We have the perfect chairs.
No, we don't.
We do.
No, we don't.
We do. I just had to keep Selena in agony a little bit longer.
So what's the plan today?
Big day today. First, we have to meet with the painter, talk about getting rid of all these elements with a paint color. After we meet with the painter, then we're gonna go check in at the drapery workroom and see how everything's going there. There's a substantial amount of painting work to be done, even though it's a fairly small space. None of the painters can fly, so painting 35 feet up in the air on the 4th floor of a building that you can't fit a ladder into is going to be a challenge, shockingly enough. But they'll get it done. It's not gonna be the easiest thing, but it's gonna be worth it in the end.
Know where you're going?
Kind of. It's Denville Road. I'm going here. I know we're going to see the drapery. Drapery is my favorite thing, you know.
Really?
Well, right now it is. It changes the space, and it's one of the first major things that always goes in when we install. I think drapery, it just gets me excited because it's that first element that we usually install that dramatically starts to change the space and make it what it's gonna be. The key to really great drapery is really good tailoring, and that takes really accurate measurements and an in-depth conversation about exactly what you're trying to accomplish.
You want to do the regular standard 4-inch pleats, or you
Yeah.
want to do them a little bit longer? We could do them 6 inches.
I think 4 is good. Like, I want it to feel like in the bedroom where they're shorter, they kind of continue as if
Okay.
they went all the way around.
Okay.
So I don't want any of the details to change. It's really important to me that even though the drapery has different heights, that the pleat detail is the same so that it feels consistent around the space. Typically you might change that size on a shorter drape versus a longer drape. But I'm gonna make the decision not to do that because I want the shorter drape to feel just like the longer ones. Well, I think one of the nice things about this fabric and this umbrella fabric in general is because of the way that it's made and the material that it's made from, it drapes well, but it has a little bit of structure, so it's easier to work with. This umbrella fabric is perfect for draping because it still has a light and airy quality to it, but it has enough structure to drape well. It's one of the biggest benefits. How long do you think it's gonna take to install?
Into a brick wall?
Yeah.
2 stories up?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It's not gonna be the easiest thing, but it's gonna be worth it in the end. So we're set with drapery, and I have a little bit of a surprise for you.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's a present for the apartment.
You got them?
I got them. The design of the chairs specifically is incredibly architectural, with a really clean line and a black wood frame, so it perfectly matches my aesthetic and the style of the apartment. I mean, the other big thing to note when looking at vintage or antique furniture is you don't have to pay attention to what the fabric is or even what the color of the furniture is in some cases. You can make something feel totally different by changing the fabric. In this case, this white kind of chenille thing is gonna change.
Are you faux upholstering it?
I'm faux upholstering it right now. I'm upholstering it home.
DIY.
Yeah, do it yourself. Don't do it yourself. That's my advice. I think if somebody bought that particular pair of chairs in the 30s, they thought one thing about it. I'm sure they didn't think that I would be buying them, 80 years later. I mean, these chairs are the space. Something we talked about when we first looked at the space was making things that were an element, and making things that weren't go away. The staircase is an element that I like. And the lines of the staircase, the profiles of the railings, the color, etc., relates perfectly to these chairs, which relates to the geometry of the bed. They all have the same line that continues throughout. That repetition of geometry helps the space feel clean, and that's, cleaning up the chaos is really what we're trying to do here. It's a big part of the design challenge of this space. So that consistency and that repetition is really helpful. Look how excited I was about getting 2 chairs into this apartment. I can't tell you how excited I am to get all the rest of the furniture.
It'll look great.
I'm excited for the installation. Installations are the best. They're hectic and fun, and there's a styling aspect of it. There's a million things to do, and there's gonna be a million things to do the day I get here to install, and a million things will go wrong. That is this business for sure.
Next time on Perspective Atlanta.
We just came into the space to install furniture, and everything was supposed to be painted and done, etc. Obviously not happening.
Welcome to CrossFit.
Even I'm moving the plants. I'll be here all night. I'm mortified whether we're gonna finish or not.